Regrettably, it wasn't an unintentional act when my lips brushed against his. I knew precisely what I was doing, from the intentional lean-in, the overly enthusiastic laughter at his joke, to the prolonged touch over the grill flames. He was my husband's younger brother, yet there I was, kissing him behind the shed while everyone inside was celebrating my father-in-law's birthday. The first kiss was accidental, but the second one wasn't. It was a deliberate decision that destroyed everything I believed our relationship to be with Jim. Every Sunday, I face both of them as if nothing transpired. I live in fear that Clayton will eventually speak up, but my greater terror is that he never will. Before proceeding with this narrative, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the subscribers on this channel. Your support is invaluable to me, and I encourage our new and returning viewers to subscribe immediately. Subscriptions are the lifeblood that sustains and propels this channel forward. Don't forget to participate in the comments below as the narrative unfolds. I eagerly anticipate your feedback. Now let me transport you back to where it all started. Michigan during the summer, amid a family-filled backyard. A moment I will forever regret. My name is Doris. I reside in Michigan with my husband Jim. We've been married for 8 years. Initially, I believed our marriage was solid. However, Jim appears to be the epitome of reliability, responsibility, and tranquility, managing both the barbecue and finances with an unwavering hand. He never raises his voice, cheats, or falters. Conversely, his younger brother, Clayton, exhibits a contrasting demeanor. Impulsive and spirited, he is the type of man who consistently arrives late to family gatherings, but still has the ability to captivate everyone with a single smile, including me. That Saturday was meant to be casual. A barbecue at Lena's home with Jim and Clayton's mother, family, relatives, neighbors, and friends. The event included ribs, music, and a cooler stocked with beer. However, the peaceful atmosphere was about to change suddenly. It started innocuously, with Clayton teasing me about my grilling abilities, and me feigning offense. We acted like children playfully tormenting each other. When he reached for the tongs, I felt an uncomfortable closeness. In retrospect, I should have withdrawn, but I didn't. Later, I walked behind the shed to answer a phone call, and Clayton followed suit. He claimed it was to check on me, but I believe we both knew the truth. We stood there for a brief moment, merely breathing. His gaze locked with mine, then he leaned in and kissed me, quickly, passionately, and petrifyingly. A sensation I hadn't felt in years ran down my spine as he pulled away and whispered his apologies, confessing that he didn't know why he did it. I shook my head and hurried back inside. I should have left it at that. Hid it beneath charcoal ashes, swearing never to bring it up again. Yet that night, once Jim dozed off beside me, my phone vibrated. A message from Clayton. We need to discuss. I should not have kissed you. However, I desire it once more. I fixated on those words until the screen faded. In my core I recognized. This tale was merely starting. I convinced myself I would put a stop to it. I even practiced what I'd say. How the kiss was inappropriate. How we were kin. How it could never happen again. But when I encountered Clayton the following day, all my plans disintegrated like sugar in water. We convened at a nearby coffee shop outside of town. A neutral location. A public spot. Safe, I assumed. I donned sunglasses as if concealing from truth itself. I arrived ahead of time. He showed up late, typical Clayton. He appeared anxious, causing me to grow more uneasy. All he wanted, he claimed, was to clear the air. He couldn't stop thinking about it. My mouth opened, but no words emerged. For neither had I. Every time Jim kissed me goodnight, all that ran through my mind was the sensation of being kissed. A feeling I hadn't experienced in years, by someone other than him. Clayton said I must have imagined it. I wish I had. I should have lied. But instead, I told him he wasn't imagining it. That statement opened the door. On that Friday, I informed Jim I was going to a women's retreat with some colleagues from work. He barely acknowledged me and advised me to drive safely. However, I didn't go to any retreat. I went to a cabin in Traverse City. Clayton claimed it was a group trip, casual, just friends. But there were no other friends present, only us. The silence between us resonated more than anything spoken aloud. I thought we would discuss how wrong this was on opposite ends of the room. Instead, we prepared dinner together, danced to music from his phone, and transgressed every line we had promised not to cross. A shocking incident transpired, yet the intensity of his gaze, as if I was the sole female existence, it felt like a potent drug. On Saturday morning, I awoke in that cabin feeling unwell, not from remorse, but from the chilling awareness that I didn't wish to depart. Nevertheless, I had to. By Sunday morning, I was back home, in Jim's embrace in Lena's kitchen, back at church as if nothing occurred. Yet everything was transformed. I had been altered. The sermon that day revolved around forgiveness. I scarcely endured it. I gripped Jim's hand tightly and stared fixedly ahead. However, I could sense Clayton's gaze on the nape of my neck. Upon the conclusion of service, Lena announced across the congregation, "Family meeting next week, everyone. I am arranging a grand feast." Sunday afternoon. "I wish all my sons there, and undeniably bring Doris." I nodded and smiled, my abdomen in knots. I had barely managed to make it through this one Sunday. And now, I was compelled to repeat the ordeal, next week. Sundays were once a source of joy for me. The aroma of Lena's pot roast, the tune of Jim humming while knotting his tie, the hymns in church, familiar faces providing a sense of safety. Now Sundays bring a sense of punishment. The Sunday following the cabin, I found myself sandwiched between Jim and Lena in our family pew. Clayton occupied the end, a physical distance, but his presence still weighed heavily on my skin like warmth. I could feel his gaze, even when I looked away. Midway through service, Jim leaned over to kiss the back of my hand. I yearned to cry, not out of love, but because I'd tainted something sacred with the impurity of a secret I couldn't retract. During the family dinner later, laughter filled the room. Clayton contributed little. I averted my gaze from him, but it made no difference. The quiet between us resonated. I noticed Lena glancing at me occasionally, as if she sensed something amiss. I pasted on a broad smile to conceal it. By dessert, I was unraveling. Jim took my plate and asked, "You all right, sweetheart?" "I've fine," I murmured. That evening, I lingered under the shower longer than normal, letting the water pound me as if washing away my remorse. When I emerged, a message was waiting on my phone from Clayton. "I sense your turmoil too. Just speak with me once more, please." I switched off the screen and threw it onto the counter, yet I couldn't cease trembling. The following morning found me sitting in my car at a nearby park for almost an hour. I wasn't there to encounter Clayton or flee. I merely required fresh air. That was when I acknowledged something that no one ever shares. Betrayal doesn't only devastate those around you. It consumes you from within. It erodes you gradually, starting at the core. That week, I mustered the strength to act rightly. I confided in a therapist all the details, every word, each caress, each untruth. And after I concluded, I remained quiet, anticipating condemnation. She inquired, "What's your next move, Doris?" I met her gaze while tears flowed, admitting, "I will learn to endure the truth, even if no one else ever discovers it. For the harshest penalty isn't getting caught. It's living with the burden of your decisions each Sunday. If only I had stopped at that initial kiss. If only I hadn't replied to that message. If only I'd recalled the consequences before it was too late." To those considering transgressing, understand that once crossed, there is no return. Share your thoughts below. I am intrigued to know what you would have done in my situation. Would you confess? Would you depart? Or would you carry it with you forever in silence? Remember to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic, unfiltered stories such as this one. Thank you for viewing. Secrets have a tendency to resurface, not indefinitely,